How's your shoulders? Are hurt?
Not bad, not when if I'm sitting upright or I'm standing, it's fine.
What if you punch it?
Okay, you're
How do we,
All right,
I'll move that we go to executive session.
so good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Town of New Windsor January organizational workshop. Before we get started, we can get everybody to rise for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, before we get started, we got everybody, we got a full house. So we got Deputy Supervisor Steve Moreau, Councilwoman Sylvia Santiago, Councilwoman Eve Lincoln, Councilman Charlie Rowe. I have the Highway Superintendent Anthony Feo. Our Town Clerk. Patty Carino, hold on, okay, here she goes. Keeper of Taxes Sue Scheibel, Police Chief Danny Blair, and I have our Town Attorney Dave Zagon, who likes being off the camera, he loves it, and Patrick Mangan's on our keyboard there. So the first thing on the agenda is the organizational meeting for 2025. So we got through 1 year, I think we did pretty good. And now it's gonna start off the new year here. We got, for Wednesday's meeting, we got 81 agenda items, so to be quick, a lot of reading, but quick, hopefully. I'm just gonna go over a couple of things here. Appointing the supervisor of refuse and garbage and set salary, which is normally Anthony Fire, which is gonna be again, and I believe it's 22.5 is for that salary. The deputy supervisor, again, is gonna be Steve Moreau, with that salary at 2,500. Liaison officers, I kept it the same. I'm sure I'll just go through them. The ambulance is myself, assessor's office, Councilwoman Lincoln. I'm just gonna use your last name, so excuse me there. Buildings and Grounds, Bro, Comptroller's Office, Santiago, Highway Department, Moreau, Justice Court, Bro, Newburgh School District, Bro, Planning, Zoning Board and Building Department, Moreau, Police Department, myself, Recreation, Eve, Lincoln, Senior Citizen, Sylvia. Sewer plant is Eve and water department is Sylvia. So that's gonna be the liaisons for this year. The register of vital statistics is the town clerk again. Or still the town clerk. The appointment of deputy town clerks are Kathy Mackey and Melissa Conley. The FOIL officer is the town clerk. The FOIL appeals officer, and he loves it, is Dave Zagon. The records advisory board is Kathy Mackey and Glenn Marshall is the town historian. The emergency management director is Chief Valeri. We're gonna reappoint, and we're gonna talk later, the assessor, Todd Wiley, to a 6-year term. Well, that's if you folks agree on it, and we'll talk about more on that. Glenn Marshall's the town historian. Appointment of delegates and alternate for AOT is Dave Zagon is the actual delegate and I'm the alternate. The procurement policy is the same as 24. The standard schedule of fees are gonna be updated, and that's in this agenda. We're gonna speak a little bit about. The clerical help for the town board is Kathy Mackey. The newspaper is Mid Hudson News and WGNY is the radio. And there's one full-time hire in here, which is for the recreation department, which is budgeted, Mr. Chapner there. As usual, if you guys got anything, I'll send you a copy of normally we wait till after this meeting in case something changes to actually give it out to you, so we'll send you the agenda tomorrow, so in case there's any changes or something that happens tonight. Standard schedule of fees, so we're doing a couple of changes in the standard schedule of fees. Nothing, we can do this every month if we want. The paralegal Jess. And it's funny, I don't know, I shouldn't say it's funny because she does a lot of work. She does a lot of work for that office. And she sends out at the end of the year, she sends out emails. Anybody want any changes? Get them to me, get them to me, get them to me. So we get them to where we change them. And the day before the meeting, and then she gets an influx of people saying, we want this, we want that. And you could just see her face getting red. But you know what? She takes it like a champ. She does them. I mean, I hate doing it to her. So, and we do have a couple other changes. We didn't want to squeeze in this, so we'll wait a couple of months and we'll do them. So as you guys see in there, I think everybody has a copy of them that are red that have the changes on them. And they're not a ton of changes. they're just additions to some like electric vehicle stations. We're gonna be charging some, we don't have any, it's not in the standard schedule of fees now. The Plum Point Park, if you will, somebody goes down and gets a pass. We never had in veterans included in with the senior citizens, so that's gonna be added. And some increases and stuff, sanitation fees, things that when people are going to get permits from the town clerk's office. Are gonna be increased with some things. So I had a meeting the other day with our wonderful receiver of taxes and our water operator and sewer operator. We're kind of we've kind of condensed some things that were some redundant wording in there that we're gonna make good. And we'll be able to do, we definitely increase some of those fees that are, going out to anybody that gets permits, if you will. Those fees are being increased by our water and sewer operator as well. We've had a number of changes actually we did last year that have kind of paid some dividends, if you will, over the course of the year. So, and like I said, they're there. If you guys have any questions with them, if you didn't get a copy, I can certainly give them to you. If you did, did you have a copy here?
Yeah, it's
Um,
right.
All right, good. So I don't know if anybody needs it. If I do have them here, I actually have in this copy here. If anybody wants to take a peek at it, actually it'll be tabbed off each change. So just so you can see, and like I said, it's in red, so it's pretty normal stuff for us. The contract agreement for Quest, which is our environmental solutions technology. We've done this last several years. We did last year as well. This Quest, we use them, we go out, it actually saves us a lot of time when we enter into contract with them now. So when we have any projects that pop up, either emergency projects or anything like that, we don't have to go out to bid or, public hearing and out to bid for this and get quotes and everything. So this costs us nothing up until the time that we need to use them. They do quite a work for us. They deal well with our engineers and everybody. So we're just gonna renew that contract with them Wednesday. The hazard mitigation plan, I know we've seen a little bit of this. So this year, we're gonna actually have a meeting Wednesday with our engineers, delegate for them, Kelly Morris and Jeff in my office. We're hopefully gonna put the finishing touches on it. So we've done every 5 years, this plan has to get renewed. So we wanted to start it a little early. I reached out to the county, the town of New Windsor and Curious Joel, I believe, the only ones that aren't piggybacked on the county's hazard mitigation plan. So we went out and got some prices to redo our own plan, and they were up to $30,000. So it was a decision by the board here that we chose to go with, so MHE, our engineer, charges hourly, and it's maybe a couple $1,000, if that, for them to give us one of their employees who went and we did an annex for it. So we're gonna upgrade, we're gonna actually redo our hazard mitigation plan with an annex in the counties, saving us probably upwards to $25,000.
Yeah.
Just on piggyback, and basically you really need this to go after federal money, FEMA money and stuff like that. You gotta actually have a plan in place. And it also identifies those areas in town. There's been Jeff from my office and Kelly too from MHE has done a lot of work on it. We added a lot more things that we feel that are, potential hazards, and if something happens or flooding, I know Anthony was involved in everything. So it's something that's needed. Again, it saved us a lot of money. So I'd like to thank everybody on that. Right now it's on our website from the public comment part. If anybody has any questions or anything or needs to look at it, we can do it from there. We're gonna just approve this summer grant. We get this grant each year for $10,000 from the county. It's for the Youth Bureau for the summer camp. We do it. I believe the plans are this year I was talking to the rec director yesterday. I think they're gonna go back to, I know last couple of years they consolidated Richetti Park and Christie Babcock Park and all had at Christie Babcock Park. I think we're gonna go back to Richetti. She's gonna break it out into some maybe younger groups, if you will, or some, maybe lean towards the special needs side of it. So when it's a little more, it's smaller, it's condensed. So she's really, trying to build that up, if you will. She's already doing interviews, getting people out there to hire and everything. So, but that grant is going to help. She put in for a lot more granting and stuff like that we didn't get for salary wise, but she tried. Next, we're gonna, the townwide insurance, I just want to give you folks a heads up, and I give you a copy of it. So this renews on December 24th. So I had already signed it. We did it. I sat down myself, I don't think I was invited, and I think I just popped in, so it was the town attorney, the paralegal Jess, Doreen, and our insurance agent, sat down and went over it. It did increase. And as you see there, it was our expiring premium was 785,600, and the premium went up to, it originally went up to 888,467.
Yeah.
After we negotiated a bit with some things that needed to get reduced or come off because they missed, they went down to 877,252. So like $11,000 difference. So it just, it kind of just shows you that, everybody has the insurance premium increase across the
Yeah.
board everywhere. Ours happened to be about $11,000, and it all depends on how many, how much we use in the insurance company throughout the year. The less we do it, the better off we are. But when the meeting didn't start off right, the lady started off right away. I said, "Listen, you guys got a big increase," and we're like, "Oh my God, Doreen, I thought I was gonna have a panic attack." And then when we found out what it is, it wasn't as bad as we first thought. So, the next thing on there is the New Windsor Volunteer Ambulance for medical rates. These are things that something we have to just approve each year. They're actually kind of set in stone by the insurance companies and the people that actually pay these. They're increasing these rates, as you see the copy there. You should have there with the yellow and stuff. The base rate's $8.97 going up to $9.15. They break it down through urban and rural. That's something they've done. This is the Medicare and Medicaid rates. When you just have to approve them, this actually goes on, but we'll call it the standard schedule of fee portion of their approval. So once we approve these rates, they can therefore start charging the insurance company or the private people. So that's gonna be on the agenda for that. Like I said, I think I already got a copy of that. Just this justice court audit on here. This is something we did. I got a letter from the courts just saying that they basically open their books up, if you will, for their audit. This year we're gonna do something different. We're doing a little something different. We usually did them like 2 different times. We did the town regular audit and then the justice court after that. We're gonna kind of do them piggyback, but the town one's gonna take precedent over the court one. The court one will probably around April, and the town one's usually the end of March, and then April will be the court one, which will follow, but a report will come back 2 months after that. The last couple of months, actually, our last year's report, it was probably one of their best reports they had. So they've got things in check in that court there, and they've done a nice job with that. So that's just something that I wanted to bring attention that they sent to us, and everybody should have that. So so the recreation intent to bond. So as everybody knows, we this is gonna be kind of 2 parts. So we did put in for a grant for pickleball and basketball at Christie Babcock Park as kind of the first phase of us trying to increase our recreation stuff. That grant we did not get. We were kind of thinking we were gonna get it. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of frustrating to me because when we didn't get it the year prior, I reached out to Scoopus's office, said, "Can you kind of have a look into it and see what we need?" So they came back to us and said, "Listen, X, Y, and Z." One of the biggest components to it was they suggested that we go out and do a master comprehensive recreation plan. So we went and spent like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 on that, and we still didn't get the grant.
Yeah.
So I actually sent it to them again and said, "All right, let me know this time, come back with an answer that's not gonna cost me any money." So maybe they can have some input or they can do what they gotta do. With having that said, after, we had back in April-ish, I think we did a recreation plan to evaluate actually what we really need to do with the parks. With that, I think and I think we all agreed on one of the things Steve and I went to the town of Newburgh's opening of their kind of the topping, I think they call it, was the last piece of steel they put up. We went there and to their little ceremony there to their building. And their building is, I think it was like 30-some thousand square foot, if you will, and it's pretty big. In our plan that we're talking about, other than the pickle and basketball, we're looking at putting up a recreation building, if you will. Stewart Gym is pretty much condemned, if you will. We're trying to sell that. And we don't have a facility like that, someplace that I would like to see is if we do it, the old recreation building they have down there on Union Avenue becomes part of this new building, which the offices and kind of streamline everything. Part of our park alienation we did out there, there's where we want to put this building. There's no wetlands, it actually kind of fits great. And our scheme of putting all this together, we come up with perhaps about a 60,000 square foot building. Which, like I said, we looked at the other one was like 30 and change, and it's pretty big, nearly doubling that. Multi-purpose recreation building, outdoor recreation facility. You know, you see in here, it says pickleball, basketball, that may end up being incorporated in this project we do. The
Like more
reason.
parking, like
Just
everything.
everything's gonna be parking, there's gonna be some updated, upgraded stuff. We're looking at probably upwards to, if we do this and if we bond it, $40 million. And that's now we're talking about that.
Right.
So you know how like everything else was, we started out with a sewer plant for 12 million and we're up to 190. So
Yeah.
it's just, you know, it's insane. So it's just something that we really need to do kick around. However, we need to do an intent to bond. So anything between now and the time that if we do bond a new building, we can capture all that money we spend as through the bonding for MHE and any, so we,
Like designs and
we
stuff.
did an intent to bond. We're gonna talk about the water plant at Stewart or water thing. We've done an intent to bond for that. Again, any design phase or engineering costs and stuff like that will get captured in this bonding phase. So we're gonna do this. Given what we have an idea to do here and what we're gonna talk about next, we really need to put our heads together and prioritize, if you will, what we really want to do and what, you know, what direction we're looking to go and how, you know, we phase it or however we want to do it. So, however, I want to get this, the intent to bond is just simply that in the event that any money is spent up now, which we have spent some money after we spent the comprehensive master plan and stuff like that, we can start capturing stuff in this portion right now. So,
Yep.
Again, we'll, you know, I was kind of thinking about maybe next month, I'm gonna see if I can task you guys to kind of put some ideas together between now and next month's meeting. And perhaps we can have a little more lengthy discussion, as to what we want to do, especially after talking about the next thing.
Okay.
So the intent to bond, again, that's gonna happen, and that's simply just to capture any funds that we're gonna, spend between now and then. So the Stewart water plant, and the reason I bring this up is because, again, we're looking to we're gonna probably have to do a planning bond for this. Or some, we're gonna do some work on it. So we've been talking about, obviously, I think everybody knows here, we have some, our Riley Road water plant, which is tapped into the Catskill Aqueduct, is old, we're aging, we've put a lot of money in it, and it needs a lot of work, and we're just keep band-aiding it,
Yep.
and it's at some point, we can't band-aid it anymore. I know last year, and I say last year in 23, I think we've all decided to say, listen, the best place, talking to our water operator, the best place probably for a new plant would be up at Stewart. It's the highest part, you know, a lot of gravity going on, less pumps and all this stuff. Me personally, I would love to see, at someday, that Butter Hill be used strictly as emergency or redundancy and not, you know, a water source, if you will. If at all possible, that's what I like to see, tap into. We have a tap up at the airport now. We'd have to upgrade that. That's on the Catskill. There is some talk about the Delaware coming down to New Windsor, being extended from the town of Newbury down to New Windsor. That's I don't know, I think they said $190 million project, that we're obviously not gonna pay for, so. I don't know who that may be the DEP or something, or, you know, they're in the stages of that. However, if they do come down, they gotta pass our Stewart plant. And in that sense, that would help us out to tap into that. So what we did was I spoke to our, I had a meeting with, Mike Weeks and from MHE and our water operator Kano for John. You know, we, back in April 24, we prepared a study for a new filter plant out of Stewart. The plant out at Stewart, so we're talking about maybe doing two-phase. So right now, our plant on Riley Road is 3 MGD, million gallons daily. We're talking about going to 5. I think the only hurdle we're gonna have to do is that when you do a plant at 5, you gotta have 5 million redundancy them, for them to just say, yeah, go ahead and do it. Right now, with the GAC down at the plant down there, we don't have it. However, we believe with our interconnects, with the city of Newburgh and the town of Newburgh, that we may have the redundancy to ask for the 5 for either future expansion. Simply just for the town of New Windsor, so there's no confusion here, when I'm not looking to get a $5 million or $50-some million plant to sell the water. I'm looking for us, for New Windsor, to, because at some point, the Riley Road plant is just gonna be non-operational, or we gotta put millions and millions into it, and I think it's just gonna be us going backwards. So, the MHE, and after a conversation, proposed, perhaps a 2-phase approach. The first being, the development of some water tanks up there, or water tank. So right now, the best way I can describe it is a 2.5 million gallon swimming pool up there, in-ground pool, and literally it's in-ground with a tarp over it. That's getting old as well. We have, that needs some work, if you will, needs a new cover. Put a new cover on it, we're talking probably a week or 2 weeks worth of downtime up there. And if that's the case, then there's gonna be some fire coverage issues with Port Authority, and, I really don't wanna get in the middle of. So if we do, a 2-phased approach, we were talking about a tanker tanks, and it depends on how many, and that's to replace the existing reservoir, and it depends on how many gallons we want to capture. If it's 2 million, 4 million, do we want to do 1 or 2 tanks? That's something that we have to kind of figure out. Where the current reservoir is now, we'll call it, or underground tank, would be the footprint of a new water plant up there. Decommissioning the front part, which is basically out of commission now, and then a new plant would go there, but it would be a 2-phased approach. And the second phase would be a new 5 MGD filter plant. The overall project budgeted right now is they're talking about around 62 million. It's down below too. If you see, there's a rough timeline here we have here. So this timeline is definitely nothing that's going to be, well, it's not in stone. It's just something he just put together. But it's a timeline. And it's just something to work off of. We have to do a secret process, which is about 3 months. And then, like you said, you see these, I'm sure these are gonna be punted a little bit. I don't know. I just think, we're gonna have to do, I think it was a planning bond, right? Or authorization, right? Planning grant. So we're gonna have to do some of this, work sooner or later. Now, I don't know what, how you folks feel. I'm kind of hoping, and I know, this is kind of hoping, I know there is some settlement talks of some PFAS litigation and stuff like that. I don't know how much we're looking at. Who knows? It could be, our take might be $5 at the end. Some people seem to think that we already got millions and we haven't got nothing from any litigation at all. But I'm hoping, I know Dave's done a lot of work on it. Our outside counsel has done a lot of work on it, and we're kind of hoping that maybe that'll, be the golden egg for some of this, if you will. And then granting, and we can go out to get grants. I know we wanna, if you see in this thing here, we wanna wait a little deeper into applying for grants before we do it, because right now with the sewer plant, we got grants and we're struggling with timeframes now. When you can, we can in theory lose some of this granting if we don't get them done in a window. So we're gonna kind of push off as much as we can. And I said, I think this was part and parcel to the recreation intent to bond thing, and that's why I said, we got $109 million sewer plant. We have a water plant concern here that we definitely need to do something with this new plant to move forward with that. We're, talking 62 million now. Like anything else, when you start getting down to the time frame, it gets to be, more and more. So when I talk prioritize things, the sewer plant's gonna hit all those in the sewer district. The water is gonna hit all those people in the water district, and recreation hits everybody. I think our job is to make sure that we watch the tax dollars and, we keep it down for everybody. On the same token, we want to make sure we deliver, water to everybody, that everybody's toilets are flushing and their water sinks are filling.
Yeah.
And like I said, our water operator, they do great for us. They really do. But it's gonna start getting to be a point where it's gonna be very costly for them to start band-aiding. I think this is a smart two-phased approach. So let's get the tank up there. Has a liner in it. So it's a concrete tank that they put a liner in it. And we believe that liner may be a touch compromised. And that's all finished water, you gotta realize too. So if you lose any of that water, that's water that we filtered already and sent up there and ready to be out in the distribution system. So, it's something that we need to at least get these tanks done, tanks, whatever they just, design, they can fit where they are. Get that done and then move forward with, design, and doing a plan. That's just my thought.
Money well spent.
And
Money
I think
well
it's
spent.
something, we do, our water fund does pretty well. Now it does, I think I shared with you guys the income on some of the water with the town of Newburgh and stuff like that. It was all over $2 million. So, we have it. We're saving some of that. And like I said, hopefully this, litigation money comes in for us and we can hopefully get something, but there's no promise. I have no idea how much, when. I think some of it was supposed to be released already. I think we think.
End of last year, I thought,
But-
no,
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know, I just checked the website today, it's still in review.
Yeah, so, who knows what's gonna happen, but I know Dave put in for. Yeah, I think we can buy a new town when we're done, but, he tried to capture every possible, possibility. So hopefully, hey, listen, maybe they come out with some good news for us and we get some money and it won't cost us nothing, but I think that's hopeful thinking, but.
Yeah.
We can certainly try it, every little bit helps, I will say that. And these guys, between our engineers and our attorney's office, they chase every dollar that's out there, so appreciate that. So again, we'll talk more about that. If you guys have any questions or any concerns or anything, please, pop in and we can meet and talk. I know you were meeting with John or something, gonna go look at some of these water places. Were you able to go look at many of them? or-
We looked, well, I've been to the Butter Hill. I mean, I've been there
Yeah,
twice and stuff, but we were supposed to meet at Riley Road, but then that's when we had the drought in place.
oh, right.
So that got changed over. Right? There's something going on with he had to go somewhere else, so.
Yeah,
but,
no, I know Town Newburgh was having a lot of problems.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
feeding them water and they were having, their Town Newburgh's back to good. As
everybody
of
is-
today, we shut down,
Gotcha,
the Town
yeah.
Newburgh feed, so we're not feeding them anymore.
And the drought is over because the
So,
state,
so the DEC lifted it.
I saw that.
DEP has gone down to the same level we're at.
Mhm.
So being that we're using DEP water, I'm gonna keep it at that until they decide to end it.
okay, gotcha.
Their reservoirs are what they are, and it doesn't, I'm sure there's probably 6 people maybe paying attention to it, and the rest are probably don't even know we have some sort of stage drought warning here. But it's just, it can't hurt. It just,
Yeah,
we ask
gotcha.
people to consume water as much as they can, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so like I said, I would, if anybody wants, you don't have to be a liaison to do it. If anybody wants to go see some of these plants, I would certainly say the Riley Road plant's an interesting plant to go visit. And it's our, main water source there, and it's been working hard. It's, feeding the town of Newburgh, and I think we owe it a break soon, and taxpayers are owed a new.
Or it's not gonna give us. an
new
option,
system.
and I think
No, it's not gonna,
that's-
and I don't
that's
wanna
the-
be
That's
caught,
the fear.
I don't wanna be caught there, I
No,
don't
no,
wanna be
I
caught
agree,
there, I
totally.
honestly don't.
I think we all do.
So. That we'll discuss more soon too, but we're gonna do that, we'll get that, phase 1 project going. This last thing here is the 466L firefighters ambulance updated tax law, so. After, Dave and the lofts did all their work on their, and I appreciate all their work on the volunteer firefighters, exemption, and everything, we got it done last month. Our assessor had to start now doing what he needs to do to figure out who gets what and so on and so forth. So he went and did we'll call it a deeper dive. And he realized that there was another portion of the law, the 466L passed. Which updates the law. Basically, what it does is it allows anybody that's living in the town of Newburgh, that's volunteering in it outside, we're gonna call it adjoining agency. Affords them the opportunity to get the same 10% tax break as somebody like, myself, I'm a volunteer fireman, I live in the town of New Windsor, I volunteer in the town of New Windsor. There are a couple of people right now that live in the town of New Windsor that volunteer for the Salisbury Mills Fire District, who protects the town of New Windsor as well on the west end. So those folks in theory would not capture that tax break on that. So this is the folks that, there are a few people in my Vales Gate Fire Department that actually live in another town. Their town would need to pass the law for them to get the tax break down there. And like me, us passing here is not gonna help them
Right.
that living in Cornwall or wherever else. So those that are living in New Windsor will get the break in New Windsor for that. Well, being that they're, and this is all verifiable, it's gotta go, goes to the assessor's office. Anybody that deals with Todd knows he
Yeah.
does his due diligence. He makes sure everybody has this. All these lists and all these members are certified through the fire department. They have, their board of fire commissioners have to send letters that, you know, who has what time, and so you have to have 2 years or greater, and those life members get the lifetime exemption, so. This is just gonna be in addition to that. I think all you's got a copy of the new law or the email on it, how that works, so if you have any questions or concerns over that, by all means, let me know, we'll talk about it a little bit. So that part of that's gonna happen next month. Or I'm sorry, Wednesday, we're gonna do the public hearing, and it has to be passed by March 1st. In order for for people to feel the relief for next year. So I do want to point out too, we did get I don't know if I think you guys saw, we got a $1.7 million sewer District 9 I&I rehabilitation grant. Which was nice to see, we did get a grant, I don't mind them. The over 1 million ones are good, so I'm kind of excited about that. This is, this I&I work is gonna be in an area where, you know, we believe, I'm not gonna hang my head on that, but we believe there's gonna be, some other work going on, maybe a new subdivision. And if that's the case, the balance of that, we're gonna talk to them and see if we can put some of that on them to build it, because they gotta hook into this particular sewer district that needs a lot of work, so hopefully we can do something with that. But that, so we got a 1.7 million, 1.72. And the last, in which we already bond authorized 2.5 million for that work to be done, so we can, between the 1.7 and 2.5, we're on the hook for the rest, which I'm sure is probably more than 2.5 now, because it was a couple years ago. But we got that, so that's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. And we got about 50 banners up from the Heroes program, so
Awesome.
if you see them, they're popping up.
And I see it.
You did one,
Yeah,
They really look
they're
great.
getting more and more, so they look good. We've had just so you guys know, I've had a lot of phone calls thanking the board for doing that, so it looks,
Yeah.
it came out good. I do appreciate that. Anybody got anything else? Got anything?
I have nothing.
No, we're good.
All right.
Motion to move to executive session.
I'll
For-
second that.
For personnel items, right?
Personnel.
For everything on
Okay.
here.
Nice, nice. Motion, thank you, everybody.